Welcome to the NOVI Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Jesse. I'm the host. And here we navigate the new generation through these possibly hard and confusing times by simplifying life through movement, navigating life with peace, and talking about complex matters such as health, wealth, and mental clarity. All right, so today we have our first episode with these two young gentlemen. I'm going to introduce y'all. First, we have Daniel over here.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Daniel Miranda.
And then we have Will Otamendi.
Hey, ¿qué tal? Yo soy Will Otamendi.
Cool. And so as you can tell, we're going to be doing a little bit of Spanglish as we always do it sometimes, yeah? So first, the topic of today is going to be basically dance. You know, we're all dancers here, so...
¿A poco?
So first, I just wanted to start off kind of introducing you guys, because you guys are not only just great dancers, but great people in general. So I want to get you guys' origin story of, you know, kind of where it started. You know, ¿cómo empezó tu jornada de baile?
For sure. I actually started dancing in 2007. I was like 12 years old. Actually, I don't remember how old I was. I can't do the math right now. But I started dancing in the 7th grade. And the first dance that I started was breakdancing.
Okay.
And I started from there. I never really dancing didn't really catch my attention at like the way it does now. But for sure, whenever I started dancing, it was mainly because of my older brother.
Yeah.
Some people don't know that, but I have an older brother. He I would say, obviously I looked up to him. So everything he did, I would always try to follow. I hate to admit it, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
At least at the time, not anymore, obviously. But so I followed his footsteps and I started breakdancing. And also that was like a good way for us to bond.
Yeah.
So I started breakdancing from like 7th grade all the way through high school. I would say the 10th, 11th grade, actively. And then that's when I actually found interest in like choreography, like hip hop, Latin, bachata, cumbia. And then
Did you do all of those, or like you just had interest in those?
I was just interested, but that's whenever I started actually doing quinceañeras.
Okay.
Because I had a neighbor that she was like, yo, I heard you breakdance.
Yeah.
Can you teach my daughter and her friends how to breakdance for her quinceañera?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, sure, why not? And then that's literally how it started.
Yeah.
Like that's how the whole journey started. Fast forward like a couple years later, like I kept doing quinceañeras, and then that's whenever I was able to, you know, establish what I have now.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we'll probably get more into that towards the podcast. I don't want to spoil anything, but for sure I started, my first dance was like breakdancing.
Yeah. So basically you started off as a kid, you looked up to your brother. I think we all have that sibling that like, or like if we have siblings, we have that older, whether that's an older sister or brother that you look at. And so you kind of like looked up to your brother and started breakdancing, and then from there doing quinces.
Yeah, I mean, because he was also like encouraging, like you should definitely like do this, or like he was more encouraging on that aspect of like, yeah, join me, come over here, let's dance, let's try this out.
Yeah.
If it was dancing, if it was martial arts, whatever it was, all types of art forms. So I would always definitely follow his footsteps. But yeah, I started breakdancing at first, but then I started falling into like the choreography, the Latin, and all of that came later on.
Yeah, I think as you get, especially dance is like so big and so general. Like you can go into you can go anywhere. You can go into choreography, freestyle, quince. So it's big. So yeah, I think it's cool that you were able to look at so many options and then decide to hone in on your thing. You know.
Yeah, and I think it was crazy because my neighbor approached me with that pitch. So after that, that's when I really took it serious on that quinceañeras.
Yeah, cool. What about Will? ¿Cómo empezó tu jornada?
¿Cómo empezó? Yo empecé cuando tenía 22, estaba en la universidad y me cayó un trabajo haciendo acrobacia Yo hacía parkour desde hacía ya años, desde los 15. Entonces, ya estando en el trabajo, nos pidieron que aprendiéramos la coreografía, pero yo no quería bailar porque a mí no me gustaba. Yo veía gente bailando y me daba pena ajena, ¿sabes cómo? Entonces yo no bailaba en fiestas, yo no bailaba en quinceañeras, yo no bailaba en nada, no me movía. Porque yo creía que ya por hacer parkour ya estaba en el top, ¿sabes cómo? De movimiento, yo ya no tenía que aprender otra cosa. Entonces,
sí son los parkour.
cuando empecé a conocer bailarines me gustó como su actitud, su energía. Vi que era un reto, vi que no era tan fácil y ahí empecé. Entonces ya me tocó algo grande, sí. No tenía hermanos mayores, yo era el mayor. Entonces yo jalé a mis hermanos.
No, así es, qué chido.
Sí, yo jalé a mis hermanos y ya desde que empecé ya han pasado 7 años y siempre he estado entrenando, siempre tomando clases, siempre yendo a otros lugares a tomar workshops. Siempre me gustó enseñar, entonces siempre, desde que ya tuve más confianza bailando, empecé a practicar cómo dar clases, empecé a ir a clases a ver a los maestros y no aprenderme la coreo, ¿sí me explico? Y básicamente ha sido eso, son 7 años de darle. Desde que empecé no he parado.
Sí, yo creo que se me olvidó con quién estaba hablando esto la última vez, que el baile no es fácil cuando lo piensas en la manera que, o sea, tienes que usar la mente, escuchando la canción, escuchando la música y tener que moverte a cierto tiempo, a cierto ritmo. Y ahora involucras el factor de que tienes que, no necesariamente copiar, pero hacer los mismos movimientos que un coreógrafo que está enfrente de ti haciendo esos movimientos. O sea, si lo piensas, no es algo fácil. Especialmente porque me pongo en los zapatos de Will, que un parkourero que puede hacer flips, que puede hacer todo esto, ¿verdad? Uno piensa que realmente, un bailarín ve eso y dice, man, yo no puedo hacer eso. Pero también un parkourero también puede ver al bailarín haciendo la coreografía y exactamente como lo hace el coreógrafo, puede decir, yo no puedo hacer eso.
Sí,
yo pienso lo mismo porque a veces me cuesta tomando clase y aprendiéndome las coreografías de alguien más.
Yeah.
Pero obviamente cuando yo hago mis coreografías, ya me siento más suelto, I get more creative. Pero cuando estoy como en el posición de un estudiante y estoy tomando la clase, como si es la clase de Jesse o de Will o de que sea, a veces también me cuesta porque allí me pongo en la posición del bailarín y a veces I overthink it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could overthink when you're taking a class, and that's even the instructors tell you just relax, have fun, and it's true. But it's natural, human being. We want to be perfect, and obviously we can't be perfect, but we try to just give it our best. And sometimes overthinking it in the moment, that's when we mess up. That's why whenever people do like the videos or they pull out their phone, they start messing up because then they get nervous, then they get anxious, and it's natural. But for sure, I 100% agree on that. What you just said.
When Daniel, when you're talking about like people pulling out their phones, what you mean was like whenever you're in a classroom setting, right? And then you learn the choreography, and then somebody pulls out their phone to record you. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes, of course. So I know that's another big thing these days. Like people recording on videos and stuff or classes. But I mean, that's like the time we're in now, obviously. Yeah. But for sure, I've seen it plenty of times when people pull out their phones to record and then like they go blank.
Yeah.
Because like I said, back to what I said on, they want to be perfect. They want to get that perfect shot. And it's good, it's good because like it's good for their content and it's good for their growth. And I know that's the main thing. A lot of people record for their growth to see how their progress is. But likewise, sometimes it's good to just live in the moment and just dance. And no matter if you're recording or if you're being recorded or if you're just taking a class or if it's a private, like it's always good to just sometimes just be present, be in the moment instead of just always recording. But I mean, both aspects make sense.
Yeah.
So
we had just talked about you guys' kind of like intro or origin story. And I did want to just take a moment just to say that at the end, we are going to do a little choreography for you. So it's going to be a live action. So one of one of the people in production, is going to choose a song. We don't know what song it is yet. We're going to listen to it a few times and then try making choreography within 10 minutes. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. So with you guys' origin story, I know it's really everybody has their own origin story of where they started, and I think it's really interesting for many of us who actually kind of, I wouldn't say had a late start, but didn't necessarily start off like a youngin, little kid starting dance. But anyone who is around our age, or I guess new to dance or trying to get into dance, what would you say is needed to learn how to dance, and is it too late to start dancing at whatever age? What do you guys think?
Yo, yo creo que depende de los objetivos que quieras lograr con la danza. Si tú quieres ser alguien de competencia, quieres ser un bailarín elite o un bailarín profesional, la verdad es que si ya tienes cierta edad, creo que sí tienes un poquito eso en contra, pero tampoco es necesariamente malo. Yo empecé a los 22 y medio, como ya dije, ¿verdad? Que creo que es una edad ya un poquito avanzada para empezar a bailar, porque yo no bailaba nada.
Sí, porque en estos días ves un chamaco 8 años y, bro, lo está rompiendo.
Sí, ya hacen coreos avanzadas de 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 años. Y yo empecé a los 22, o sea, mi cuerpo ya estaba de alguna manera más tieso. Estaba más tieso. Pero, por ejemplo, yo siento que aprendí disciplina entrenando parkour, yendo todos los días, haciendo mucho ejercicio, etcétera, etcétera. Cuando yo empecé a bailar a los 22, yo veía cómo las demás personas flojeaban y yo decía, yo quiero ser bueno. Yo voy a entrenar fuera de acá, voy a venir todos los días. Y por eso siento que mi proceso pudo ser como rápido, porque yo ya sabía ser disciplinado, ya sabía trabajar. Entonces
entonces una persona que quiere aprender el baile o es nuevo a este nivel.
A esta edad.
Ajá.
Sí.
No necesaria edad, pero a cualquier edad, ¿qué sería? Porque dijiste disciplina, ¿verdad?
Sí, yo creo que es lo importante. A mí es real que si ya tienes cierta edad como nosotros, yo es lo que entendí, ¿verdad? Porque estamos alrededor de los 30, los 3. Sí tienes un poquito de desventaja, ¿sabes? Pero los años ya no los puedes recuperar, no pasa nada, es real. Pero también, si tú sabes trabajar, pues la danza te puede llevar a donde sea.
Yeah.
Sí.
Yeah. Sorry. Yo nomás quería clarificar que Will no me estaba llamando tieso cuando me agarró. Es que estábamos hablando de algo chistoso cuando uno se pone tieso, cuando se acabaron las cámaras. La gente allí que está mirando que no piensa que soy tieso porque...
Dani tieso.
We were talking about something when the cameras turned off. It was funny, actually. Okay, but I agree with Will exactly what he said. I don't think there is like a certain amount of age that it's too late. It's never too late, of course. For sure, I would say you can start at 3 years old all the way to like 30, 50 years old. I've seen some videos of like some like 50-year-olds getting down like crazy. But the point is, I would say, like, if I had to give somebody advice, like, on what they could go in dancing with, I would say for sure is just having fun with it. Because at the end of the day, that's what's really going to take you along the way.
Yeah.
And then while you're going that way, you got to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes people are too focused on the outcome that they don't focus on the journey. And it's like, the journey is the most beautiful part.
Exactly.
Because that's what really brings you joy, brings you growth, brings you a lot of opportunities. And I feel like sometimes people get too caught up in the end result that they don't enjoy the process. And it's just trust the process, enjoy the journey, and have fun with it mainly. So I would say having fun for sure with a good, like, 100% energy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that when you see like a really good dancer, you just want to, I don't know, skip time and already get there, already be that person who's on stage with Raul Alejandro or Bad Bunny or anyone like that. But it's true, you do have to enjoy the process. You have to be able to enjoy the times you're in the studio grinding and working. Because how many times me, Will, you were like one of the last ones to leave the studio because we're either directing or closing up the studio. And actually, this is a good point to address. So all three of us, we're a part of a dance team called Classics, and within that is Ritmo, which is the one that me and Will direct. But Daniel, you're the owner of Classic Studio.
Yes. Hello, everybody again. Yes,
So-
I am the owner of Classic Dance Studio. I started in 2014, and we opened up the studio in 2020.
Yeah.
No, it was 2022. Yeah, 2022.
Okay.
So 2 years ago, actually.
So really quick, how did
Actually,
that
I'm
happen?
lying. I'm sorry. I'm so bad with my dates. 2021, November 2021 to going into 2022.
Yeah.
¿Qué abriste Classics?
La academia, sí.
¿En serio?
Sí. La academia apenas la abrí, pero como el grupo ya lo tenía.
Ah, ok.
Yeah. So really quick, I guess how did that start off, and
Like-
how were you able to create Classics of what it is today?
So like how it all started was when what I said earlier. Remember how I said about the quinceañera
Yeah.
and how my neighbor wanted me to teach them a quinceañera? That's how it started.
Yeah.
That was the first start of everything. I started doing quinceañeras, and then I started choreographing quinceañeras for a whole year by myself from 2013 to 2014.
Yeah.
2014, I had this lady ask me, "Hey, I need chambelanes for a quinceañera. Do you have chambelanes? And I also need a studio." I was on the phone with her, and I was like, "Yeah, I have chambelanes. I have a studio." I hanged up the phone, and I was like, "Yo, I don't have none of that. Like, I don't have chambelanes or a studio." So, but I forced that upon myself so I could create that. I called a few friends. They wanted to get paid to do a quick dance. And then I created a studio in my garage.
Yeah.
And then from 2014 to 2016, I was in my garage. And then from 2016 to 2021, I was at the old studio, which was never mine. I was just managing it. I was renting it out with the owner that was Rosie.
Yeah.
And she did, that was her studio.
Yeah.
But things ended there. So I was kind of forced to move out. So I know some people sometimes wonder, oh, how did the new studio happen? It wasn't like I was looking forward to opening a new studio. I was actually really comfortable at the other studio, but which is a bad thing because when you're comfortable, you don't see growth.
Yeah.
So it was a blessing in disguise at the same time because then I was able to, when the other studio was shutting down, I was forced, to open my own studio because if I wanted to continue this legacy, if I wanted to continue classics, I had to build something. Right? There was nowhere else. There was no studio, no place to dance. So and that was peak COVID at the time, 2021. So it was a little difficult, but we made it happen within a few months, and then we opened up Classic Dance Studio, and that's how it happened. After all that, it went from break-in to quinceañeras, and then from going into my garage into going into renting the Zumba studios, and now you have Zumba ladies at my studio renting it out of me, so it's a beautiful circle. But overall, like, it's something that for sure a blessing in disguise on like how it all happened. So that's how Classics came about. But I mean, I'm grateful now because now we offer still quinceañeras, but also dance classes with amazing instructors.
Yeah,
So-
I think that's one of the difference. That's one of the unique things about Classics is that it's a dance studio where you do quinceañeras, right? So people can come in if they have their daughters coming up, quinceañeras or sweet 16. They can go to you guys as you provide chambelanes, which are guys who will dance for in the
Court.
But you also have classes where you teach people how to dance, where you have other instructors teach people how to dance. You teach, the studio teaches bachata, salsa, hip hop, reggaeton, basically all the genres.
Yeah, cumbia.
And that's where we come into. We're one of the instructors, and we were able to create a group in there called Ritmo, which is what me and Will right now we're along with another director. She wasn't here, but so we direct Ritmo.
Shout out to Pau.
Yeah.
Pau.
Will, ¿quieres decir un poco de o sea, qué es Ritmo y qué hacemos ahí?
Dios santo, sí. Ritmo, ¿cómo lo decimos? Es un grupo de reggaetón, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Representativo de Classics. No tiene mucho que lo crearon. Sí, yo no estuve en el principio, Em, pero, pero muy bien, muy bien. Estoy un poquito perdido en la historia, para ser honesto. ¿Puedo hablar de aquí para enfrente?
Sí, no, claro.
Sí. Nada, ahora estamos trabajando en formar un grupo competitivo. Estamos trabajando en crear un plan de entrenamiento, también un sistema dentro, sí, ¿verdad? Para poder manejarlo mejor. Queremos preparar a los bailarines para un nivel más alto, creo yo. También estamos trabajando como en ofrecerles mejores clases.
Sí.
No sé, más orden.
Yeah.
Y no sé, básicamente hemos estado ocupados en montar sets.
Yeah.
Para presentaciones y demás. Hemos tenido como mucho trabajo en eso, ¿verdad? Mucha suerte y todo.
Yeah.
Y nada, no sé qué más.
No, sí. O sea, por eso puede trabajar bueno y junto. O sea, un grupo también. O sea, Ritmo no es el único grupo ahí, pero así puede trabajar bueno. O sea, Ritmo está bajo Classics y también hay otros grupos. Y, o sea, this is a way that I think, like, if you're able to understand the story of how all this happened, you know, and
we should tell them how it started real quick.
Okay, yeah. Go for it.
Si sabes cómo comenzó Ritmo, la gente que no sabe cómo comenzó Ritmo, era una idea de Jesse y yo. Una noche terminamos, yo creo que Jesse enseñó la clase.
Yeah.
Y miramos que estaba la competición de
Meltdown.
Summer Meltdown. Y le dije a Jesse, oye Jesse, ¿a ti te gusta el reggaetón? Y a mí me gusta el reggaetón un chingo. Like, bro, like, ¿por qué no hacemos un grupillo a ver qué onda? Y luego Jesse dijo, I'm down. Yo dije, órale. So I started calling people. Le estaba llamando a la gente.
Yo creo que faltaba, what, 1 month? Or no,
era como unas 5 semanas que faltaba. No teníamos tiempo. Pero se nos ocurrió la idea y estábamos emocionados.
Yeah. ¿Para Summer Meltdown?
Ajá. Y era que le estaba llamando a la gente y le dije a Jesse, ¿qué piensas de esta persona? Tararara. Y dijo, sí, pero no sé si van a decir que sí o no estábamos seguros. Y yo les hablaba. Yeah, I'm like, fuck it, like, you know, I'll call him right now.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I wanted to see, like, what we could do. Y todos contestaron, güey, y todos dijeron que sí. Y Jesse como que no se lo creía, dijo, pues vámonos. So we just ran with it. So it was just kind of like an idea that we created of like, we want to start a reggaeton team and like go from there. Entonces por eso al principio estábamos un poco perdidos porque no teníamos como guidance en qué queríamos hacer. Nomás estábamos emocionados y con el amor del baile y para representar no nomás nosotros, pero una cultura atrás de nosotros, de los hispanos, de los latinos. Entonces eso es lo que es lo más bonito. Y entonces pues ahora ya con el tiempo ya tenemos otros directores y ya estamos creciendo. Entonces pues por eso estamos aquí con Jesse, con Pau, con Will. Entonces tenemos mucho crecimiento que viene adelante y pues sí, así comenzó todo con Ritmo.
Y ahora se han pasado audiciones, ahora hay 20, 30 personas dentro del grupo, todo, qué chido.
Pero por eso siempre le digo a la gente que si uno le tiene la idea, nomás hazlo, porque nunca uno sabe. Así yo comencé con mi negocio. Like, that's how Classic started. Like, I had that client asking me, do you have a studio? Do you have guys? I was like, yeah, I do, but I didn't. But it's like, you force yourself to be in that position.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like whenever, like, if you have to survive, like, you're like in that survivor mode. Like, if you want to make something happen, you got to make it happen.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
You got to just throw yourself and figure it out.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good point to point out where a lot of dancers, artists, whether you're like, I don't know, a singer, rapper, drawing artist, where you find yourself in a position where you want to be able to make a living for yourself, but also continue your passion of what it is that you're doing, right? So I think this would be a good example to point out that, like, hey, like, you know, it's possible to create things, not only just for your passion and your art, but also to be able to make a living out of it. I think that's one of the hardest positions where a lot of people are like, what should I do? Because should I continue working at where I'm working, which I'm not satisfied, I'm not good, or should I do something else, right? And so to be able to have your passion kind of lead you on with like a good income, I think that's a good way to view it. So I like what you said. If you have an idea, go for it. Same thing. I recently started an entertainment company, and that's kind of like using my skills, using the resources that I have, other dancers, other instructors, to be able to provide entertainment as far as like what we call hora loca, within the quinceañeras, within the 15, to be able to provide that service, those kind of services to them.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of want to add something real quick to what you said about like how there's like so many young talent, but they don't know what to do with it sometimes. I think that's really beautiful, but at the same time, it frustrates me when people have an amazing talent, but they don't believe in themselves. They lack self-confidence. Like yo no sé ustedes, pero yo he conocido mucha gente que bailan muy bien o cantan muy bien o son buenos en lo que hacen, pero tienen pena. Les da pena y no quieren
You just want to tell them like, hey, go for it,
No,
go.
like literally, I want to like anybody that's watching this right now, like seriously, like if you have a talent, like go for it. Like you are your only limit. Like you have no idea what you could accomplish. You don't know until you try. Like people need to understand that. Like I'm not the best dancer, and everybody knows that. And I'm not the best business owner. I'm not the best of anything, but I am really determined. That's why I have all the things that I have, because I'm determined and I'm willing to sacrifice. And we've talked about that, like whenever we did our last show, how we had to make a few sacrifices on the team. So it's like people just got to make a sacrifice. You got to make that leap of faith, because you just never know. If it goes good, perfect. If it doesn't, then oh well. It's 100%. Better to live a life with oh wells than what ifs.
Yeah. And I'll echo that to you. I'll echo that because I myself, like I started not too long ago. I just started dancing, and to be able to direct a team, it's like sometimes you get that what is it called, like imposter syndrome. Like I see so many other talented dancers, and then to be able to direct a team, sometimes you get that self-doubt, but you have to be able to continue on. I've been able to get myself and other people the opportunity to get gigs in dancing, and that's kind of like my joy, to be able to help those people get money doing what they love to do, So, and that's one of the mantras that we have in Ritmo and in classics. We want to always give back. We want to give those gigs and opportunities to other people that are possibly just dancing without getting any income. So, just the last few questions that I have, because again we talked about you own a studio, and we're directors of a team. We get a lot of people that come in and want to learn how to dance. So I would just say, like, how would you say you can speed up the process of learning, whether that's dance or whatever it is, because again, you have a 20 to 30-year-old that comes in, is new, trying to learn. What can you tell them to speed up that process?
Creo que la única manera de aprender, ni siquiera diría speed up. Ahora que comparto mucho tiempo con Ale, por ejemplo, me doy cuenta que ella aprende muy diferente a como aprendo yo. Yo absorbo las cosas muy rápido, pero a veces no las hago tan bien. Ella es otro extremo, ella aprende muy lento, pero desde abajo todo lo hace bien. Uh-huh. Entonces, no diría que intentes apresurarte en aprender, sino más bien que intentes aprenderlo bien, que intentes recibir información de lo que sea que quieras bailar, ¿sabes? Si quieres bailar coreografía, entonces toma clases, escucha mucha música, sigue personas en Instagram que te gusta cómo bailan para que en el feed te salga.
Yeah.
Sí, mira videos de competencias, sí, como todo el tiempo rodéate de las cosas que tú quieres aprender, y ya, si tú haces eso, es cuestión de tiempo antes de que te hagas bueno o llegues al nivel que quieres o aprendas lo que quieras aprender.
Yeah.
Solo es eso, nutrirte de diferentes fuentes de información.
Yeah, I like that.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
What's one way that a beginner can like speed up the process of learning?
I would say the same. I agree with what Will said about just like everybody learns differently.
Yeah.
I sometimes feel like there is really good dancers, but they don't know how to break moves down, so they won't become like, well, they won't. I'm not gonna say they won't become, but they don't fit the criteria of being an instructor yet. And then there's really good instructors that break things down.
Yeah.
But then sometimes they struggle on being the student. Sometimes I feel like I can break things down really good because I work with a lot of beginners, with the quinceañeras. So I've learned like different aspects on how people could learn a step, different variations. But like I said earlier, sometimes whenever I'm in that dancer aspect, in the dancer mode of taking a class, then sometimes I could get like stiffened up, or sometimes I'm like, man, why do I look so like awkward, or like I just get self-doubt, or I lose a little bit of confidence sometimes because of course whenever you're in a room full of amazing dancers, like it can get a little intimidating. But the best thing I could say is really just going back to having fun with it, finding the joy. Why did you start in the first place? You know, if it's because you like music, is it because you got inspired? Is it because your best friend is dancing? Always go back to what is your why, you know, and then that would definitely re-guide you on why did you start, and then carry that over into finding the beauty behind it, because there's always something. Like, as corny as this sounds, there's something always beautiful behind the door. Like, if you look for it, like, you got to find, like, the emotion behind it.
Yeah. No, I would agree with what both of y'all said, because you can, like, get mad at yourself if you're, like, trying to speed it up. You're like, you want to get there already. And then I think if you're looking at it with, like, the love and passion of the arts, then you'll find yourself practicing at home. You'll find yourself not just going to the studio and just taking a class and then going home not doing anything, right? If you really want it, you'll go get it. I'll finish off with a story. I think this is Stephen Curry's the way that his dad used to coach him was his dad wouldn't let him scrimmage until he got his like 500 shots. Right, and then I think he was just not shooting the way that his dad wanted him to, or he was just something wrong with his shots. So his dad made him shoot, I think it was like 500 baskets, and he had to make them all before he went out and scrimmaged. So it just shows that if not only if you want to speed up that process of learning, you have to do your reps, not only just in the studio but at home. And I think that's just the point that I wanted to home run. For anyone watching, you know, you have to be able to do your reps at home and in the studio.
Yeah, I agree definitely. I think I didn't really answer the question correctly, so let me go back to that. But yeah, if you really want it, agree with you. Like, you gotta do your homework. You know, take classes, train. Sometimes people just want to go straight into like performance mode or competing mode, but they forget to train, and that's like where it all starts. You know, and also like. Not only training, but like training, like, or learning the history behind the art, or behind the foundation, or behind the dance, if it's whatever style it could be, you know. And also, like, you know, taking privates. I know like some of my dancers have taken privates with Will, and that is really impressive because then they're young and they're hungry and they want to learn.
Right.
So like that's like that for me, that's amazing. It makes me happy because at the end of the day, like as a studio owner, I want everybody to surpass me. I want everybody to pass not only my skill level but like my knowledge level, because like what's that quote that they say about the teacher becomes the student when the student becomes a teacher, or something like that?
Something like that.
I can't think about that, but si me entiendes. Yeah, like un instructor always wants their student to learn.
Exactly.
Because then that speaks a lot about the instructor and the owner itself.
Yeah. So I would say that you answered it good, because I mean, again, like I said, following your passion and doing what you love will get you to that point. But yeah, I wanted to thank you guys again for you know, pulling up and expressing and showing kind of like your experience that you had in dance. And I think you guys' story in general just show and can inspire anyone listening and hearing this. So I want to appreciate y'all and give y'all's flowers.
Hey. What is that? What exactly? I'm sorry. What does that even mean? I've heard that a lot recently.
What?
Like, give you their flowers. Or I've
Like-
seen people be
like-
like, oh, give him his flowers. He deserves their flowers. Like credit, right?
Yeah, basically.
But I barely started hearing that. I don't know why.
Oh. Well, whenever you hear one thing, you'll start hearing it again.
Yo es la primera vez que lo escucho.
Sorry, I'm just like
You're good.
I'm like in the talking mood now. Just keep going. Just kidding.
All right. Well, thank you again.
Jesse. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, CCN.
Yeah, CCN.
Thank you, everybody. Production. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Will.
All right, and now we're gonna go into the 10 minutes of choreography. Again, this is gonna be, we don't know the song, we don't know what we're gonna do, but we're just gonna create a choreography, and then we're gonna showcase it for y'all. Y'all ready?
Hey.
Let's go. Now we're gonna go into the section where we're gonna listen to the song that got picked, and we're gonna listen to it a few times, and then we're gonna choreograph it real time right now. First, let me get my guys out to come out. All right, so again, we're gonna listen to the song maybe a few times. We're gonna try to create the choreography right now. So let's go ahead and start.
¿Qué estamos pensando? Yo tengo una idea, pero ¿puedo escucharla otra vez?
Yeah, all right, one more time.
Pero mientras tanto, vamos de aquí en la boca.
Pero mientras tanto, ahí, como el coro.
Desde el pedo mientras tanto. Pero mientras tanto. ¿Y podemos continuar como este? Vamos.
Ajá.
Nos formamos aquí y aquí sales y regresamos y salimos. Ahí tú subes, igual girando. Y yo creo que ya nos podemos ir.
Ahí ya se acaba.
All right, so we finished the choreography, and now we're just gonna perform it for y'all. Ready? Let's go.
¿Cómo llegamos aquí? No sé cuánto pies de altura. Primera clase a Madrid. Acá arriba de la cobertura. Siento que solo fue ayer. Le dije a mami que iba a volver. A casa otra vez, no sé cuándo volver. Pero mientras tanto, andamos de aquí en Mallorca. Mientras tanto, estamos contando tortas. La que puede coger, la que no puede soportar. Mi gente está bien, manín, eso es lo que importa. Baby, pero solo baby. Pa' que suba la historia del Bentley. Si que no la persiguieran tan firme aquí. Estos blanquilleros no mueven de aquí.
All right, well, if you like that choreography, we made that in about 10 minutes. So like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.